to the rest, because you can also be part of it, or you join the Facebook platform and of course be part of the show right here on West Nile Television. It's a very good afternoon, and Susie joins me straight away. Good afternoon, Susie.
Good afternoon, Owen. Good afternoon, viewer. Wherever you're catching us from, we'd like to say thank you, Reza, for keeping it West Nile TV. We are already in the house to discuss everything that sports, locally, nationally, internationally, everything. Kali, so we're ready in the house, and whatever it is, you only have to keep it glued to there is at West Nile TV.
Niceness. Now, of course, one of the biggest things that is happening is the alarming stories that probably keep coming now. Raka, a football club, become a side to talk about because they feel they did not honor the game, not purposely, but they are the reason, which up to now nobody knows about, because it's one of the biggest things to talk about. Now, I just received also the copy of the document that was issued to Araka and of course Odramachako after their game had issue, and it's called the decision of the West Nile Football Association Competition Disciplinary Panel. That is right there. Remember, there are two things that always sit. There's a competition, there's the disciplinary committee that sits, it's just within the West Nile FA. Then there's the CDP. It's now the disciplinary or competition disciplinary panel. That's it. It's so external that you have even people who represent them. Okay. So out of this, I want to be on record that there are few names that you could see are right there. For the disciplinary committee, that is always for the FA, they have the normal people who are in the FA body that sit and decide on certain things. But when it goes, it surpasses what the limit. Now, that's when now the competition disciplinary panel sits. It's now a panel of different people who are also in there. And out of this, their chairman is Mr. Abima, who is the chairman over this competition, the CDP. Then you have Mr. Ayub Kamis, whom we are going to be having here, by the way, on Monday to discuss about the indiscipline cases that is happening in West Nile region. Then we have Muzamil Bondo, Mr. Muzamil Bondo, who is also one of the names. Then if you look at Angutoko Favor Neymar, that miss there, Honorable, she's, okay, normally we're hearing that she's attached to maybe Total or something like that, but she is also supposed to, for us, we know her as an independent body. All these people are independent bodies. Now, you have people who are supposed to represent, now for Bondo, Muzamil represents the team, in fact, represents the West Nile Competition Committee in that panel, representing not so much. Then Mr. Opio Isaac is, by the virtue of his position, he's the one who oversees, or is the supervisor of the West Nile region, West Nile region, or regional league. Now, that means he oversees the league's performance. And very many always I see mistake him as the competition's chairman. Yes, he's the second vice. So he sits there and makes sure that things work on. This date, 4th, was when this, or it was a Thursday when this was released. Odramachako FC, in case of that is Odramachako FC, decision CDP number 022 of 2024 regarding the hooliganism. The circumstance of the case, disciplinary sanction were opened against Odramachako FC. Of course, that was said to be against Raka Football Club, and the following were aligned, by the way. Failure to provide a good environment for the game. You made the game between Odramachako and Raka FC not to take place. You assaulted an ex-com member of FUFA. You insulted an ex-com member of FUFA. That was one of the biggest things for the game not to happen. And then there was hearing of the case and observation that went in there, where the competition disciplinary panel discussed to determine on the matters that way Odramachako or that failed to provide a good environment for the game. Then the ones that I just mentioned. If you look at the legal frame of this, or the legal framework of this, you would see that the club is in competition, are responsible for order and security, both in the pitch and outside the pitch. Then if during that is the time, as defined in that is the FCRA. That means the act of hooliganism and violence caused the abandonment of that is the match, and the defaulting club was found guilty. But all in all, I don't want to go much. I want to just go to what exactly came through. Evidence of the payments. Okay, these are the charges or the verdicts that came through. Odamachaku is found guilty of that is the offense stated in that is the summon. Odamachaku is hereby given the final warning as they conduct their funds, or else their matches may be moved away from that is to different venue. Then Odamachaku was fined 400,000 Ugandan shillings only for that is hooliganism. This is payable to that is the West Nile Region FA accounts. Not later than that is Saturday 6th of it was by April, which I think they paid. Odamachaku will also pay another 300,000 to Araka Football Club as a refund. As a refund to their transport expense. Evidence of payments will be sent to that the CDP within 7 days from that. Upon fulfillment of the above, the match Odamachaku and Araka will be rearranged at St. Charles Luanga. The match will be played under closed doors. They don't want to go much because the rest, I may not see much in here. The case of okay. So Susie, that's just a highlight of the disciplinary reaction. But what I've failed to understand is, in the whole world, I've not seen a club, even though you've caused which problem, sending or refunding another club transport. Trust me, it has never happened. If it happens, then it is charged through the organizers or the FA. Then the FA will, because the reality is that FA is supposed to take charge of the game that is going to be played on the neutral ground. It was not the fault of Odamachaku, neither Araka. The people who called off the game was the region. That means the region is supposed to organize a game on a neutral ground, but cater for all this. Now, that is where they could charge all what is there in the charge they will rule and organize these games. Look at this. What do you say about that? Maybe what do you say about the decision before we get to what exactly happened recently that Benson reported for us here? And after I've carried a lot of research about what exactly is happening in the region, I felt we needed to discuss on this.
This whole thing has beaten my understanding. But this is something we literally also discussed here, and I've been looking into this discussion off even here. There is one thing I also want to understand. Now that the first time the game was called off at Divine Palace, home of Odramchaku, and they asked Odramchaku to pay monies, which they did, and this game was supposed to be replayed in a neutral ground, which was in Koboko. Odramchaku went, Araka did not come. So who again refunds monies of Odramchaku, since now it is all about refunding transport costs of the other club? Like honestly, just like as you had said, I have never landed on this in my entire life, 30 plus years of following football. This is quite very alarming, and we literally needed to start seeing this from the higher levels, maybe FUFA and all that, some of the rulings that most of these clubs do here and there. But we are meeting this at grassroots level. It's very shocking, and honestly, this is not good. Because one, when you're charging a club because of hooliganism acts, yes, they've accepted their fault, they've accepted to pay in the monies that have been attached, but then at least these people would name that thing as something different, just like you had said. They will just put up the whole amount, like the 300, they attach it on the 400 and say maybe
you're paying 700
exactly,
or you're paying 800.
You're paying 800, full stop. They don't break down the monies. And this, by the way, is going to cause in more amber between most of these clubs, especially Odramchaku and Araka. Trust me, this has left them to be forever rivals. That is it. Even if they come from the two different places. Odramchaku is from the borders of Arua City, whereas Araka is from Yumbe. Trust me, this is going to continue for as far as these two clubs exist. But honestly, to me, sorry to say, There was a mistake that the region did in coming up with that. They would just sum up the monies and not break it down and say, pay this as a fine over assaulting one of us. That is all.
I want to say the region should be even a little bit okay, because I believe it's the disciplinary panel, the members that sat and decided that this region as FA had already given out. This was beyond them. Now it's the body of the disciplinary that sits down to see that this is A, B, C, D that we need to put. Of course, their final verdict is final. They give back to the competition to implement. The competition's work is to make sure that these games run, and they're supposed to implement them in a way that how do these games run? What should we do? What are we needing? After the decisions are taken, they submit back to the competition committee. Now, we have rescheduled this, now we need the game management. They are supposed to plan for the game, manage the game, and see how the game is done. So if decisions are taken by, that is the panel, trust me, the competition has no rule because the panel has decided. So for me, I believe this is one thing that we really need to look into, because it is so alarming right now that teams are really taking a wrong trend. I don't want to believe in the word that it is going to cause them really forever enmity. No, this can still be changed. But I believe it's because people think there are certain individuals, because I've seen in different platforms where they are attacking personalities.
Exactly.
And it shouldn't be the personalities that they are attacking, because there are a lot of things that come in this. Not only the person that you're talking about, not only that. Now, like, if you look at competition...
There is one guy that they attacked in one of the groups. They said he's causing issues. He caused issues between Pakwach youngsters and other teams. He's always... So the personal attack bit of it really also needs to be looked at. That is by the DFA. If these persons need to really be granted security, because if these attacks are continuing and they're just being ignored like that, trust me, it can yield into something else.
For me, I can still tell you the issue is, one, stop. Let's do the right things. Let's always not be like babies that you need every time. You see, I'm in football management, but I know that there's something that is there. You need to grow up, and that is one thing. So if you look at, you're going to blame, let's say you're going to blame Susie, you're going to blame so-and-so because they are trying to do the right thing for the competition to run well, then we are going to have challenges. If you're going to blame, I remember different DFAs had issues and they were like, it's so-and-so, it's so-and-so. Let's leave the blames of individuals. I have said, this football you see here, for us we see the outside cover. This soft, nice looking. But what this ball is made out of, we don't know. What exactly is inside this ball is very, very different. Very different that you can, when they put knife and maybe tear it into two, you will see how dirty this ball is inside. But outside here, it's very nice. You know, that is the issue I'm saying. But for me, I have never seen anywhere near that this a region saying, okay, I've not seen. Because it becomes, okay, the issue is, why should I pay for the other one's transport? Why should I pay for the other? Now, look at the Odamachaku saga, which of course I'm told they paid. Now, they have paid. What will that show? What about next time, if such, because we have seen very many games called off, but there's no club that has ever paid transport
refund
to the other
club now.
Is it because maybe we have the bus, or we have, you know, it's one big thing. I'm really not happy, because this is the same Westline we need to build. And if we are going to build Westline in a war of that, this is what we are not favoring, then I want to blame the CDP for that decision they have taken. I'm blaming the CDP, the people who have been aligned, because that is very, very wrong. Totally wrong. Totally wrong. And out of that, you need to look into, what about streamlining channels for this? Now, let's look at the saga that happened at St. Charles Luanga. I've also done my personal investigations only to find out it's true that Araka did not turn up for the game. And up to now, okay, I've not come out seeing on any or a statement that they didn't come out for the game because of ABCD, because at least for Nuparaka, when they didn't come for the friendly, they said Nuparaka could not afford to give them fuel, which is okay. So that, of course, went. What about now? Why didn't you come for the game? Now, I tried investigating slowly. Of course, they will have their part of the story. If you look at here, they said, this, by the way, these are not the only teams that are affected. There are very many teams that were affected, whose games were rescheduled. And right now, I'm meant to know the panel, or the disciplinary panel, has more than even 9 cases to handle, which they have not handled for this season. Now, the disciplinary panel had to sit. You saw in this, youngsters, Pakwachi was affected. They're supposed to pay fine. Padiel was supposed to pay fine. Paida was supposed to pay fine. Paida United. Zeut Central was supposed to pay fine. There was Odramachaku that was also supposed to pay fine. You've seen there was Padea Rising that was supposed to pay. And these people all were looking out to pay this. Zeu was the first to pay, if I'm not mistaken. Or then others also kept. And Odramachaku paid on that day early morning, which of course these games are supposed to. Now I've tried looking out to. I was in the pre-match or pre-season what do they call it? Pre-season meeting that was held in Koboko. There was a request for every other club to put or to give CEOs, club owners, or club managers send their certificates or send their documents to the region, FA. Whereby this CEO, club owners, or presidents will be added in a fora, which I'm not there, of course, a member. But this fora was only going to be for such people, for club management. And they will be added to be given information. Now, in my investigation that I've tried looking out, following, these people are added, and people gave. I recently even we saw fines for some clubs that were not able to hand in the right documents or give the right documents on time. West Nile region, if we find them, and they did. And out of that, if I'm not mistaken, Araka was among. Now, Araka, to my little knowledge I've gotten, is that has a different CEO who was given, or a different person who was given to the region. And currently, the person who is trying to coordinate things for Araka is a different person, whom even the region does not know. Because region gives information in a group that is, in a platform that is meant for only the people who handed in. Now, before the game, different calls moved around, but a different person calling, not this person that the region knows as the club CEO of Araka Football Club. Now, those are some of the things that I have found out, but I'm still waiting for Araka to also come and give us their part, because they are saying they have their part of the story, which we are waiting. Maybe they will put, because I did interact with this PRO, he was saying they are going to do a press conference, a press release, which I'm waiting to see what exactly will be for that.
There is one statement I saw somewhere on one of the social handles of Araka, where they said when Odramchako was fined, it was communicated to them that they were supposed to pay in the fuel refund at least not later than 2 days to the rescheduled date. So they paid late. They paid on the D-Day in the morning, 11 a.m. of the actual date of the rescheduled match. So that literally also just sidelined them, because they did not keep to the rules in terms of how they were supposed to pay, meaning they were supposed to pay before the last time was supposed to be 2 days to. So since they delayed and paid on the exact date, that means they defaulted, and that's why Araka did not turn up, because they received their fuel late.
Yeah, that's not a big deal. I'm saying they say they are coming to make a press release.
Maybe let's wait. Yeah.
We're waiting for that and see what exactly comes right there. But it's one of the biggest things that we want to say. So I'm giving you what exactly my own findings, which of course I am. I should say I am all about it in case of anything. But that is what has come up there. So Araka, I think what they only need to do is we saw Vipers threatening not to. But they went for the game,
and won.
And that is one big thing that you needed to come in there. So I think there's that's element of this. Okay, what if now the judgment comes, or the panel sits and gives a hard also say now, okay, your refund was given. We also now want you to pay Odamachaku's refund that they went to Koboko, and this time around maybe Odamachaku may say their refund. Oh, when you put 500,000, 400,000, what would you do? This is what I'm trying to bring. So I think we need to bring in the fairness of the game.
True.
Two, I would appeal or request the region and the disciplinary panel to always look into this. Our clubs are still struggling. Yes, when you're fined, give people time. You can give them the time, but when they fail to raise such money, this time around it's very hard. Allow them play the game. Then let's move on.
I was told that Odramchako literally asked for time so that they look out for these monies, because the exact time that they asked them for these monies, they didn't have the money, and they wrote to the various offices, they wrote to the various stakeholders requesting for more time, which even was granted. So which one is it that they were supposed to pay 2 days before the game and they delayed and all that? I mean, all this does not count, honestly. There needs to be fairness in all of the football management handling.
But all in all, that's what is happening in that is the books of the region. We are waiting for the verdicts that will be coming out of the game that was, of course, that the team did not turn up, that also came in there. And now, what about other things that probably keep coming? For me, I want to say, if in the region, or if in this region, we the sports managers don't or have personal issues with any other, then let's leave it, so that it's, because it's going to affect our game. If I have issue with Susie and we are here working at West Nile TV, when it's work, let's work.
When it is work,
now when it is time for out of work, we can ensure our differences. That is what I think is killing us in West Nile region. Because I am affiliated to maybe Club A, and Susie is affiliated to Club B, and I feel we all have position, we need to fight. Yes, it's good to fight for your club, but let's fight it in the right way. Because every time if you're going to fight, if a stubborn kid, or if your kid is a thief, today you are stolen, and the neighbors come and you cover it, and like, this one has stolen my sugar, tomorrow he's going to steal from the garden, next time you steal the phone, you defend, then it becomes automatically a professional thief, and the next day he's killed. So let's try to avoid this, because if every time you're going to defend your club and it's not fined, then they will not learn.
I think one big thing that is also eating up about this whole thing is there are people that are affiliated to some of these clubs want to use the various positions that they hold to show their superiority over these other people that hold certain positions, maybe far much beneath them, that are equally affiliated to the clubs that are at loggerhead. So showing off and using the superiority bit of it is about to kill the beauty of football, if not monitored very well.
All right, let's wait and see what exactly it will be, but the decisions will be coming. We shall be expecting here the disciplinary, one of the disciplinary panel members on Monday, so that we see what exactly, how the decisions come in, how, of course, can we change, how do we instill or install the discipline in these clubs? Because it's really, if the Odramachako game was called off because there was insecurity, yes, it was okay to me for purposes of safety. I was told even the bus was escorted, Varaka, up to some end where they could not be touched by any. I think that was a good one because I saw on a platform where Araka was thanking Odamachako for that support that they made them go safely. And those are some of the things I believe we should. But let's leave alone personal issues, because it's going to affect our clubs, it's going to be affecting the football, and that is one big thing. Because if we are going to run football through emotions, then we are going to kill the football in West Nile. And when West Nile football dies, I don't know what excitement we shall leave for our children who are coming up and thinking this legacy has been left and we need to push it. So let's try to put, this is now back to the leaders who are in the football management. Let's try to, of course, teach discipline, spread love and peace into that is the football, and wait for what exactly will be coming, because these are big things that always kill. You know, when it starts biting you slowly, it becomes a very big wound with time. So let's avoid that. But I believe the panel will be sitting soon, and I'm meant to know that the issue has already been handed over to CDP. That will now handle it, not even the competition, not even the region, but now the CDP. After the CDP verdict, that's when now the competition will come and implement. If they say the game is being played again, or it's this, we are waiting to see. But that is one of the biggest things that is coming so soon. So Susie, it's so challenging, it's so nice, but it's one big thing, one fact that we need to. You can drop your comments about the same thing on our handles, whether Facebook, whether Twitter, whether you're doing it on YouTube. Just be part of it. Interact and give us your view about this. At the same time, there are going to be games still, even amidst all these challenges. One of the biggest is Juman Town Council. That is, of course, coming to Yumbe at Boma Grounds. And this game is going to be against Kochi Urban. Kochi is now silent. What is happening?
They are sinking each day, every day. I think Araka has taken over the football over Yumbe, and they're looking forward to qualify to Zonos and go through where Kochi went, and possibly also start having the bragging rights of going through up to there is a playoffs.
Yeah, it's a tough game, of course, to see. Kochi is trying so much to see that they wanted to go to the glory days where they could be at #1, and things are not yet working well for them.
They have gone so silent. Possibly, I think there is something wrong with the biggest sponsor. There is a Lucy Investment of Kochi. The region has a lot of issues, by the way, in-house. So basically, by looking into this game, trust me, Germany will be looking so hard to see that they can pick a win. They're also not doing well on the table standings, by the way. So basically, I think Kochi, since is also within their area of vicinity, they wouldn't allow Germany to travel all from the other side, cross even a river, then come through and collect all 3 points and go back with it to the Madiland. Nope, I am not seeing Germany collect all the bragging rights in here.
Okay, Kochi, that's a plus for you by Susie. Let's wait and see what exactly you can perform and make sure that things work out. But it's going to be a high-tempo game, a game of high intensity right there. And today, at home, Pakwachii Youngsters welcome Kuluva Rainbows. That will be, of course, a tough game also to watch in there. Kuluva has been doing a little well in their home, but away games we are waiting, because the last time I saw them winning away has been one of the biggest things. So this time around, they are going away to play Pakwachii Youngsters. Pakwachii is trying to see that they also need to, they still have hopes after leaving Uganda Premier, Uganda Cup. Now the time is now to be in, that is the Premier, to fight for the table right there. What are we expecting from this game?
Pakwachii Youngsters and Kuluva Rainbow, that game will be at St. Mary's Barrow Match tomorrow, Sunday. And Pakwachii Youngsters has a lot of out-injured players that literally picked in injuries from the game they had with Pajuli Lions at Padir. They have their left back who scored the first goal against Rosit the other time, who has been ruled out. He got injured in during the other game, the last time we covered, by the Black Angels and Pakwachii. And then their shot number 11 is also out till next season. Their central defender is equally out, and 3 other players are home over family issues. These include Jakisa Eric, Oiroth Alex, and Jakisa Joseph. And one guy, that is Odong Alphonse, and Francis, who have returned back for training after missing in a couple of games ahead of the clash they will be having with there is a Pakwach. And also the other side we have a Paidha Derby where Paidha United will be playing there is a Paidha Black Angels, a very tough one. And I think Paidha Black Angels recently in the last game they picked a draw with Zeu Central in there is a Police Grounds Zeu. I think this time around they will be looking forward to fight tooth and nail so that they can get in all the 3 points, because after drawing with they had a points gap of 4 with Pakwach Youngsters. So after drawing with Zeu, it literally reduced, but Pakwach has a game at hand, meaning Paidha will fight so hard to see to it that they get all the 3 points from Paidha United to still keep in at the top of the table, which to me I see is going to be very, very hard, because most of the names in our Paidha Black Angel squad are literally out. Most of their key players, most of the guys that are in first team. So basically it's going to be a little bit hard for Paidha Black Angels to pick a win over Paidha United.
Now there's a very big one also you could talk about is the game between Nebi Central and Alpha Rising Star, that is at Luo Grounds. Alpha went this morning, I did see them with Olema going back to his former employers right there. A game of a high intensity also because they will want to prove a point, and as Olema will also want to prove a point that he wasn't the right coach for Nebi Central. Now, what are we expecting? Alpha seems to be back on form.
Alpha is back on form. Literally, their own form has been raised by there is Mr. Olema Hamza. Recently at home, they did beat there is the same Zeu that held up by the 1-1. They did beat Zeu, I think 7 or 8 goals. And then they went off in the 60th minute. They feared they didn't want to swallow over 10 goals. So this time around, returning to Luo Grounds, like yes, Olema, it's going to be a very hard one for him. He knows the intensity of games at Luo Grounds whenever Nebi Central is on, because he has been there. That has been his home. It was his home one time within this season before he left the place. So basically, like you just said, going there, he would literally be wanting to prove to there is a Nebi Central that, yeah, you people all actually lost someone better over it. So basically, I will also judge who is better and where after the 90 minutes of that play.
Let's have the table standing right now after the match day. Probably 19 for others, others 17 and 18, but Araka sits on top in that is the Nile zone with 39 points right there after playing 17 games and 12 wins, 3 draws and 1 loss. They have 39 points to their name. Total follows them instantly with 39 points, but the goal difference separates them because there are 21 goals and our total is 18 goals. Kochi is at number 3 with, of course, 36 points. Winning this will make them to go to 39, still behind that is Araka, or in the same level with Araka. But if they win with a bigger goal margin, they could go at the top again. And that is if they win with a couple of goals and Araka does not win or wins their games right there. But remember, Kochi has played 18 games. This will be their 19th game. Dramachako has 15 games played so far, and they have 31 points. So you could see that they have still games at hand that they could be playing also to match the level. At number 5 is Koboko Rising with 28 points. And then, of course, you have the team of Tipsa with a 26 points after 18 games. As a Juman Town Council with the 20 points at number 7. And Barakala City with 20 points at number 8. FHL MTC with 14 points. Yumbe Heroes with 13 points at number 10. 11 is Nyai Youngsters with 13 points. And Yumbe Heroes with 11 points right there in the relegation. So 4 teams will be relegated from that zone, as Nyadak zone has Paidha Black Angels at top with 45 points and Pakwach Youngsters with 41 points after playing 18 games. So them winning today will take them to 44 points, of course, one shy behind Paidha. So it depends on what Paidha will do. If Paidha wins, they will go to 3 points ahead yet again. And then you have Nebi Central, that is 31 points at number 3. Paidha United with 31. They know if they win today, will take them on top of that is number 3. So it is also a tough game for Paidha Black Angels. Kuluva Rainbow with 25 points at number 5, and Arua City at number 6 with 25 points, as Paidha Rising with 21 points at number 7. Alpha Rising at number 8 with 20 points, of course surviving relegation here. Pakwachi Super Eagles with 20 points Pajobi with 15 points at number 10. Nyahama with the 14 at number 11, and 12 is Zewu with 10 points. So those are the games right there. But the following matches awaits the pronouncement of the CDP, as the following fixtures were not honored. Pajobi versus Zewu, Dramachako versus Barakala, Kochi Urban versus MTC, Total versus Yumbe Heroes, and of course I think there's Dramachako versus Raka. So those are some of the games right there. So you would see what exactly will be coming, but all in all, those are some of the games that will be coming.
Araka also has a game at hand with Nyai. Nyai, I think, is a side from there is a Koboko. Araka has a game at hand with Nyai, and if they win this game, it will help them. If they don't win, then that is it.
That's exactly what is there, and I want to say thank you so much for tuning in. Let's take a break. We'll be coming back to give you a tip on the international stories right there before we cross over to some of maybe the fixtures that are coming today in the games. FA is available, English Premier League is available, Spanish La Liga, German Bundesliga, Italian Serie A, and all the other games that will be right there. Let's take a break. We'll be right back.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region. West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
Welcome back from that break, and still interestingly, you have one of the biggest thing to talk about is the FA that is, of course, coming back with a lot of big stories. Chelsea will be welcoming the team of Chelsea's playing. No one is welcoming the other. Anyway, Chelsea is in London, but there's a big game today between Chelsea and Man City. And this is going to be a very tight game that will be at Wembley. So we're expecting a tough game today in the FA semi-finals, where of course a couple of things will be talked about. With of course a couple of names for teams. Haaland may not be in the game, Akanji may not be in the game, but Disasi, Nkuku, Uguchukwe, and of course Colwill, James Sanchez, Lavia, and Fofana will be some of the key names that will be missing for the team of Chelsea in the FA. What are you seeing in this game today?
It's quite going to be a very hard one for there is a team Chelsea. We've literally seen them being off. At a certain point, you're thinking that maybe Chelsea is picking up and they're going to do well and all that, and then you see them sinking and sinking the more. So for Chelsea, literally this time around, I think no other place is going to favor them. In EPL, they're doing terrible. Any other place they're going to, they are literally not registering results. Based on some of the players that they signed at the start of the season, we are not all seeing the players are putting in efforts and all that. So basically, it's quite a little bit hard for, by the way, Chelsea to literally win in any of the fixtures that they are going to take anytime until the end of the season.
All right, it's a very challenging one and of course a very big one for them. But Chelsea, the only hope right now, I should say, is this. If they can go up to finals and win this, then it's going to be one of the biggest for them. But if they don't win, then it's also going to be so challenging for them. So one of the biggest for them. But for Man City, they know this is also key because they're still looking at winning a treble. Not a treble, they're out of Champions League, at least a double. Premier League and FA, they are looking into that. So could we see Guardiola putting everything possible into this game? Yes, of course, that's going to be one of the toughest moments for that is the team of Chelsea, because they're playing. But Chelsea has always an upper hand against Man City. They give them hard time, and they give them what exactly we you see from that all.
There is a one Chelsea fan that actually is watching in the names of Simon Crystal. You're catching us from a very Zumbe, and you say you guys are beating Chelsea buddy so that you allow them focus on on English Premier League. But Simon Crystal, it's going to be hard for your side, Chelsea, to beat there is a Manchester City.
Are you sure? Anyway, let's wait and see what exactly who will be coming right there. Because it's one challenging moment that you could always say from teams that probably push one or two things that get in there. So weekend comes with a lot of things. Not only that, you also have what is called the English Premier League. That is going to be having Arsenal welcoming Wolves, and that's also a tough encounter. What are we seeing after Arsenal out of Champions League after beating by Aston Villa? Arsenal still things are not working well. So it's a tough game today for Arsenal Football Club against Wolves. But Arsenal has another one. They are going to Molyneux Stadium, and Wolves at home, you know what they can do most of the times. But Arsenal, they still want to fight for the table because they know what it means for them if they win this.
It's going to be hard. By the way, Wolves is one side that is very slippery. We've seen Wolves, of course, being undermined or underlooked, but Wolves, when it always comes to playing giants, they give Giants a hard time. We've seen Wolves giving a hard time to Manchester United, even Man City, even Chelsea and all that. So basically, if not careful, Arsenal might even lose out this game to the results based on the trauma that they are still suffering from the previous games.
Okay, let's wait and see what exactly that will be for them. Not only that game, there's also another game that is coming right on card, where of course Luton will be taking on Brentford at 5 p.m. and Sheffield United will be welcoming Burnley, as also that will be there. In the Spanish La Liga Segunda, you have Celta Vigo taking on Las Palmas, Rayo Vallecano taking on Osasuna, Valencia will be welcoming Real Betis, and Girona takes on Cadiz right away. Serie A has Empoli taking on, of course, Napoli, and you have Hellas Verona welcoming Udinese. As in the German Bundesliga, you have, of course, Heidenheim taking on RB Leipzig. Cologne takes on, of course, SV Darmstadt, and Hoffenheim welcomes Team Mönchengladbach, and Wolfsburg will be welcoming VfL Bochum as Union Berlin takes on Bayern Munich. French League One has Nantes taking on, of course, Rennes, and Lens takes on, of course, Camont Foot. That will be coming right there. Now, the CAF Champions League semi-finals also continue today with TP Mazembe taking on Al Ahly, and Esperance will be welcoming Mamelodi Sundowns right away. So those are some of the games that you could be expecting. But tomorrow, Everton will be taking on Nottingham Forest. Aston Villa welcomes Bournemouth, and Crystal Palace takes on West Ham. Fulham will be taking on Liverpool. And for that is the League One or Spanish Liga. Getafe takes on Real Sociedad. Almeria takes on Villarreal. Deportivo Alves will be welcoming Atletico Madrid, and Real Madrid will be in the El Clasico yet again to tussle it out against Barcelona. Serie A has Sassuolo taking on Lecce, and Torino welcomes Frosinone as Salernitana welcomes Fiorentina. Monza takes on Atlanta, and in German Bundesliga you'll be having Werder Bremen taking on Stuttgart as Leverkusen goes to Borussia Dortmund at Signal Iduna Park, and Freiburg welcomes Mainz. League One has Levre taking on, of course, Mainz, and Lille welcomes Strasbourg. Reims welcomes Montpellier, and Brest takes on Monaco as Toulouse takes on Marseille. PSG will be welcoming Lyon. In the FA tomorrow, Coventry City will be welcoming, or Coventry Town will be welcoming Manchester United at Wembley right there for you. And we shall be seeing Zamalek, and that is the CAF Confederation Cup semi-finals against Dreams in Africa, and USM Alger taking on RSB Bakene. Those are the games that will be coming. Susie, your parting words. But before we part, United have acquired the new the Southampton, of course, technical director as their new technical director. Everything seems to have started at Manchester United. They made the appointment yesterday and confirmed his arrival at Manchester
pray
United.
The new beginning brings in or changes in a few of our 5 remaining games so that they finish in a better position. In our women, FUFA Women's Super League match day 15, there was a game that went down yesterday. UCU Lady Cardinals played the Kawempe Muslims, and Kawempe Muslims did beat UCU 2-1. And then in another story, our ladies Uganda team under 16 women's national team that had traveled to Turkey to play international friendlies where they lost all the games and only came back with 1 win, safely arrived in the country this morning from Turkey.
Yes, in this, for those who follow the motor sports or the Formula One, yes, Max Verstappen has yet made another history yesterday. That is they achieved the Chinese Grand Prix. Of course, a sprint race that was right there. He made it double. Ahead of that is the man who is yet to go for a trial.